Alright, should be good. Little box show up.
Yep.
Alright, good. Uh, pull this up. Alright, just do like a test thing, see if your voice pops up.
Testing. TB's going out first. Yada yada yada.
Alright, we're good.
And my game's too loud. That's
Alright. A little late on the start, but we're here, we're live, we're kicking it off for round 17 of the F1 Championship in Season 8. And, crazily enough, we are pretty much in the home stretch. Just about in the final third of the season with only 6 rounds to go and 2 drivers pretty much in tune in a fight for the championship, and 3 teams left in the Constructors' Championship hunt. We'll see what happens as these guys are hanging off on Shanghai for this championship race. So, as usual, Ty and Ironwolf on deck for commentary. And I ain't alone this time. I actually got a partner for tonight. Let's see. F2 Season 9 champion, prominent runner in all divisions in F1 Tier 1 competition, and one of 11 drivers in the illustrious club of winning a race in every tier active in RPL history. I got Beatnik as my partner. Beatnik, how goes it? What's up?
It's great to be back. It's been a hot minute since I've commentated. Believe my last commentary was Season 6 at Silverstone. I very much remember that race. But it's great to be back, and it's great to be back at the commentary box. I'm unresolved this week, so I won't be racing, so it'll be nice to watch one of these races for a change.
As noted, like I said, Beatnik is on resolve, missing out this weekend's festivities. He is going to be in active competition next weekend, racing in the Trident slot for F2, filling in for Fernando Borges who left last week, so he'll be joining in there. And the chiller has shown up. TB is on the track. We're on board with him. Ads has shown up as well. There we go.
Oh, Jack's gone round. He's recovered.
Jack's gone for a spin? That's not good.
Yep, spun in the S's.
Oh, very
and
fun.
Oh, another one. Sam Steed has spun at the end of Sector 1. He's going again.
Cryptic is on his time lap 2. TB's about to finish off his first run.
Here comes TB. Here comes the benchmark.
33-1. Not a bad lap for TB.
I didn't practice.
Who's currently the championship leader going into tonight's race, despite finishing 3rd last week in Singapore, which crazily, it was dry to start, then inters came in, and then right at the end, the track got too wet for the inters, and the wets came into play, and it worked for Reese, who won the race on the final lap in the final corner, which I haven't seen in a while. It was just unheard of. And Reese picking up, I believe, is his 4th win of the season.
And
well, that's
it's
mental.
And it's completely unheard of to win in the last corner at a track like Singapore, as Cryptic goes fastest. Singapore is not exactly a track where you can pass in the final corner at all, let alone win the race in the final corner. Very impressive drive from Reese, and just to solidify him in the championship fight. speaking of Reese, he is on an outlap now. Just coming through Sector 1.
Very good. And what's even more nuts is that Reese pitted for the wets under the final safety car, and when the final safety car went in and the restart hit, there was like 5 or 6 laps left, and Reese was all the way down in 14th place with 6 to go, and he managed to carve his way through the field and win the race from 14th. From a brilliant strategy call.
On a track that's not easy to pass on, mind you. Back to this race, though. I believe we have, at this exact moment, only 2 cars currently on flying laps. It would be the 2 Alpines of Kieran and FRT Flaw. Kieran is on the medium tires. Interesting selection there. As he comes through the Sector 2 split with a 53.1. No purple sectors from him. Don't know what the fast lap times are, because TB decides to call it a session. Interesting choice.
Very early as well.
That's an early call for TB. He is in the pits, so I guess my assumption is just he thinks he's good. 33.1. Who knows? Maybe it is a good time. I don't know. A little bit of traffic here in the final corner as Kieran makes his way to the final corner. Don't think the traffic will be in the way, but he comes out of the final corner. DRS wide open, and he does a 34.164, pretty much exactly 1 second behind TB.
Really, and his teammate just coming across the line now, FRT Flaw, puts it in the third with a 33.5. Now, Flaw, by the way, this is his, I believe it's his 4th RPL F1 event. In his first race, wound up getting onto the podium via post-race penalties.
Oh, we got a crash. That's Blue Goggy.
Just coming out, just out of that the mushroom corner. And there's Reese as well coming onto the scene, but thankfully the yellow flag has not affected him much. I wouldn't be surprised if next game we have like the yellow flags for cars going slow, but if someone comes out, they'll say double waved yellow, reduce your speed, or something like that.
I don't think that's a thing. I mean, not in the beta test at least. 32.9 from Reese, not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all. Just about a 1/10 clear of TV in Q1, but just over quarter of a second behind Cryptic right now.
2.5 tenths is a good estimate, as Boss Cookie puts it in P4, 2 tenths behind TB. He's in the Mercedes today. Exciting to see what he can do in the Mercedes machinery. Of course, he is a race winner. Kind of forgot he was, but he did win in Bahrain, so he's got that going for him. We'll see if he can win any more races before season's end.
Yeah, as he mentioned it, Boss Cookie won the first race earlier this season in Bahrain while reserving for the Ferrari car. While reserving for Ferrari, had to fill in for Jacob, who that day Jacob was on holiday, so Boss Cookie had to fill in. Was in Alfa Romeo for a little while until he was then traded to Mercedes. And that's where he is. And speaking about when Mercedes, the second Mercedes has yet to show up, and I believe it's Scyther, and I think Scyther should be on his way shortly. As more cars are actually filling in some times here. We got Blonde in the Alpha Tauri. He's got a 34.1. Jack 34.8 in the Williams. Jaxa 34.5 in the Williams. Blue Gagi and Sam Steed into the 35s. What's really interesting is Blonde was in Alfa Romeo for almost the first half of the season. Transferred to Mercedes at his request because he wanted to end the season in a top seed car. mainly because he's going to university during the course of next season, so his appearances is going to be basically part-time. Unfortunately, after some incidents in the Mercedes cars, one of which, oh, there goes a Haas spinning.
That's and also Cryptic has called it, which he's in P1, and oh, that's Goggy again. He's had a pretty rough Q1 up to this point. I believe that's his second spin already. I heard he had some malfunctions in Tier 2 earlier this week as well, so I'm not pointing fingers, but it's not exactly been a perfect weekend for Goggy.
No, it has not. He's in the Tier 2 clip submission. He's been reported for at least 1 or 2 incidents. Very recently before.
He goes around again.
Very recently, he just reported in an incident of the Alpine team principal Jim Bob tagging and spinning him out, which resulted in the guy that's in 7th right now, Kiernan, to smack into his side pod and damaging him. And Tadpole, by the way,
that's an impressive
lap from
P6. That's impressive right there in the McLaren. I know it's not the best car. I mean, I finished 4th at Monaco, but that's Monaco. But so that's an impressive lap there from Tadpole. Only 2/10 off FRT Flaw, and he's a pretty fast driver. As we have a spinner that is Owen in the Aston Martin. But Tadpole, that's a good lap there. That should see him through to Q2 pretty easily. Would be surprised if
Luke's
he gets
gone
knocked
for a
out with
spin.
that. Oh dear. And that'll be Luke's lap ruined. I think he's got plenty of time though. 5:20, so more than enough time to post a valid lap at the very least. All he has to do is set a banker.
Looks like he spun in turn 10. That's where he wound up going for a ride. Now, funny thing is that Luke was prominently in the Alpine for a large majority of the season, then transferred over to Red Bull to fill in for Scyther, who was prominently trying to catch a TB in the championship. Would have had him reeled in had the switch not happened, but ever since swapping to Red Bull, Luke has won twice, got 2nd place, and he is now sitting in 4th place in the Drivers' Championship. Now, given he is 93 points behind TB, but with only 6 races left to go, anything is possible. On the Prominent 2, TB and Reese, those two are only separated by 18 points coming into tonight's race.
May I ask who's leading? Because I can't see the points.
Well, I'll do even better. The top 3, you have TB with 239 to Reese's 221. And then Scyther is in 3rd with 180. And Luke is sitting in 4th with 146.
Interesting. I mean, like you said, it's not impossible for Luke to win this as he sets a purple 2nd sector. It's not impossible, but it's almost impossible. I would be unbelievably shocked if Luke were to somehow win this championship to become a 4-time champion, which is unheard of.
Well, regardless if he wins either the F2 championship, because he's in, I believe, 2nd in that one as well, and if he or gets this championship, basically, I'm just gonna say that Luke is gonna be changed from L74G to L44G because basically Luke is better than Lewis Hamilton.
He'll
be an 8-time champion, which Lewis has not had yet.
Depends who you ask. It depends who you ask. As Bourbon decides to call it a session in P6. P6 in the AlphaTauri, that's a good lap. I mean, credit for credit's due. Bourbon made challengers, but P6, not bad there. Only basically couple thousandths, like 5 or 6 thousandths away from Boss Cookie's Mercedes. And as we wind down at the end of Q1, I think a couple of these guys towards the back are gonna start thinking about getting out there. As Luke's
Oh,
on
I
third
almost
spot.
forgot one small little detail. I almost forgot this. In the World Drivers' Championship, given where we are right now for China, heading into this race, from TB in the championship leader, all the way down to, well, pretty much Jack, who's in 7th. Those 7 drivers, which is TB, Reese, Scyther, Luke, Cryptic, The Chiller, and Jack, those 7 are still eligible for the World Drivers' Championship.
Considering Jackson Williams today, I have a feeling I don't think he's gonna win the championship. He's scored a podium in a Williams before, don't get me wrong, but if he scores another podium in a Williams, I don't know what I'd do.
And in the constructors wise, it's, as I mentioned at the start of the broadcast, Red Bull, Ferrari, and Mercedes are still in the hunt. Every other team is eliminated from Constructors' Championship glory.
Let's be
And
real, I think we all expected
unless
that.
Mercedes pulls off a banker of a finish and Red Bull and Ferrari do total junk, I think probably after tonight, Mercedes could be eliminated.
Considering there's only one Mercedes today, at least at this moment, I don't think Mercedes are going to be eligible at the end of this race. It's all down to Boss Cookie, who basically has to win. Um, but we are coming towards the end of Q1 here. All the guys who are in threat of being knocked out, and your bottom 4 at the moment, Red Fire, Sam, Owen, and DeChiller, who has yet to set a valid lap. And DeChiller's invalidated, and there's not enough time for him to come around. DeChiller's out.
Well, that was because the Chiller went wide in the final corner, which meant not only was his lap time that he was doing invalid, but also the next one, which meant his other one is also done.
And Owen gets
himself 15th, but the question is can Red Fire or Sam or Blue respond? Well, not Sam, because he spun in the hairpin. So it comes down to either Red Fire or Blue Gagi that could possibly eliminate him.
Gagi is about 2/10 up, so it's possible. Gagi could knock Owen out here if he gets a solid final sector. Tidy hairpin. Here he comes into the final corner. Can he keep it valid? Yes, he can. Out of the final turn. He does it. Knocks Owen out.
Yeah, but Red Fire, though, 1.2 seconds clear in Sector 2, which is going to put him into the 34 threes, which will put him into 13th. Unless something goes really wrong in the final corner, Red Fire is looking to go out possibly, but who knows? Red Fire missed Singapore last week because of a race ban. He comes across the line, and he puts it in 12th place. So Blue Gagi is eliminated. So, both Haas's of Sam and Blue Gagi are eliminated. The Aston of Owen is eliminated. And the Chiller, unable to set a lap. And those are the 4 that are done from Q1. I will admit, with the Chiller out, because he couldn't set a lap. I mean, I've seen so much from him this season, regardless of the car. The Chiller is known for doing a lot of invalidating during qualifying, and then finally managing to get at least a lap in.
And he's also kind of known for getting penalties in the race, too. He does tend to do that.
I mean, last week he was involved in a serious incident with Blonde, right at the exit of turn 3, but But crazily, But the interesting thing was that Blonde wound up getting penalized, and not Bourbon, the Chiller wound up getting out of that. But I mean, it ruined his race. But he would have loved to have at least a good points finish right at the end.
Well, points, I mean, I don't remember what car he was in last week, but I'm sure points are the minimum
Alpha,
that he
that's what
requires
he was
out of
in.
himself. All right. So obviously points would be good in that car. I believe I scored points at Singapore last season in that car. But I'm sure of the fact that he's out here in Q1, I'm sure that will not sit well.
And what's really funny is that when McLaren, I mentioned Red Fire, coming racing tonight after missing out Singapore because he had a race ban to serve. McLaren has basically had two race ban drivers in the span of 2 weeks. Red Fire got a penalty in Italy, in Monza, which made him miss Singapore because he exceeded the penalty points needed for a race ban. And then the very next week in Singapore, after an incident between Zakaria and Wavy retaliated and spun, hit and knocked Zakaria clear out of the race.
That happened right in front of me.
And the ironic thing is, and what's more insane, is that this is the second time this season that an Alpine Academy car has gotten upset and intentionally took out another driver.
Oh yeah, Alex Fox.
A few weeks ago in Belgium, Alex Fox in the Alpine knocked Blonde out under safety car. It was caught on stream, and what was really weird was that, I mean, both offenses, in hindsight, were both equally sinister. But Alex Fox wound up getting a season ban, while Wavy only got a single race ban. Which I think, in truth, I think that's just a little bit on the strange side, wouldn't you think?
I mean, it is. I will agree with you on that one. It is slightly strange. I mean, I'm not entirely sure why the stewards decided what they did. I mean, if I were to take a guess, I mean, you said, I mean, Wavy Knife retaliated. That's the key word there. He retaliated. Alex Fox just straight up wrecked him because he felt like it. And I think that's where the stewards were coming at when they made their decision.
I think if my memory's right, the reason apparently Alex Fox, well, actually also Alex Fox was also a retaliation too, because he believed that Blonde brake tested him twice the lap prior under safety car, and he got pretty fed up over it. That was the story. That's what I was hearing.
Moral of the story: don't wreck people.
Yeah, don't wreck people on purpose. Or you'll gonna be getting a visit from Leon's lawyers asking for royalties.
Mally Rulebook won't save you there. But speaking of the greatest Mally Rulebook follower in this league, Jack Miles is coming into the hairpin to complete his first flying lap. We have completely skipped over the first runs of this entire session. 11 minutes to go. Here comes Jack through the final corner. He's going to set our benchmark of a 1 minute 34.547, and TB is going to completely destroy that with a 1:32.664.
Oh yeah, just nearly 2 seconds between there. Next up is going to be Boss Cookie. Well, it looks like he's going to be restarting because he made a mistake somewhere.
Yeah, 43.3.
So let's go a little further back to the next guy, which is going to be Ads. He also made a mistake somewhere. Same with
Cryptic's next then. He's also made an error too. Blonde is starting a lap. Red Fire's
on a lap.
He's just starting. He's on an out lap.
Yep. Well, you know what? Let's go into this. Let's go with some predictions. Who do you think is going to get eliminated out of Q2, in your opinion?
I'm gonna go Jacksta ads. Let's go both Williams. I think Jack is gonna be like P11 in that area. So we're gonna go both Williams. We're gonna go with ads. I'm gonna go with Hadpole and Red Fire. So the 2 McLarens, the 2 Williams, and ads. That's who I got.
Very interesting. My picks, I'm agreeing with you on 3 of them. The 2 Williams and ads, I think they're going to be knocked out as well. But as for the other 2, I am going to say it's going to be Kieran. I think he'll be knocked out of Q2. And probably... I'm probably gonna say... yeah, you know, I'm gonna see...
Spinner's gone around.
Spinner's gone for a spin. Speaking of Tadpole and Red Fire, Red Fire just got some help into the hairpin from his teammate, giving him the draft. Now, actually, I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna say Tadpole will be knocked out of Q2 as well. But I'm bouncing between also with Stenner and Red Fire as well. But I think the fight for P10 is gonna be pretty dang close. I'm gonna say from like 9th to P11 is only gonna be separated by under 2/10, if that.
And I'd agree with you on that one. These Q2 sessions can always get incredibly tight. It's very tough in the midfield. But who else is on a run? I believe we have Bourbon on a hot lap right now. A man who made challengers. A man not named term who made challengers. He's coming through the 2nd sector with a time of 52.5. No idea if that's good or bad. Oh, he's gone into neutral.
I think he's abandoned the lap. I think he's abandoned the lap is what happened.
I think he's having some sort of mechanical issue with his wheel or pedals, because his car is not wanting to shift right now.
Flaw just put himself into P3 with a 33.2.
Yeah, I think something's wrong with Bourbon here. I think he's having some wheel problems because he keeps shifting into neutral in the low gears. And I don't think that's him. Can't imagine why.
He's trying to get himself stay out of the way of Tadpole. He's going to come across the line. Cryptic's called it. So Ferrari pair should be through, are definitely through into Q3.
Oh,
Tadpole 33.8 for Tadpole.
It's a good lap there. But we still have 5 guys who have yet to set a lap. The 2 Red Bulls, Kieran, Stenner, and Jacksta, who's in the pits with 6 minutes left. I believe the next...
That's going to be Stenner. Stenner's going to be next up.
Yep. Game has shown he got a purple sector. I mean, I don't believe it, but if he goes P1, I mean, it's not the first time we've seen an Alpha be on pole position for a couple seconds. I believe Cookie was on pole momentarily at Portugal. That was quite an interesting quali that season, that race.
Oh yeah, that was one of the craziest qualities I've seen so far that season.
And Stenner goes P5. Not bad at all. A slow Alpine, that is going to be Flaw. I believe he's just going into the pits.
Flaw, yeah.
Yeah, it's Flaw pitting.
Off on his run.
Yep, here he comes. He's going to come through the final corner now. Can he keep it valid? Yes, he can. Here he comes, cross the line, DRS open. 32.9. P3 for Kieran.
Holy hell. Did not expect that kind of a lap.
I did, because I braced this guy. He's fast.
Oh, speaking of fast, the Red Bull boards are coming up next.
Reese followed by Luke. And Bourbon goes P4. That's to be expected. Here comes Reese. 32.8 goes P3. Here comes Luke. He's invalidated. And it would have been
Well,
fastest for Luke, 32.4.
Yeah, so he invalidated out of the final corner, which means not only is the lap that he set no good, but his next lap is also no good. Well, that means Luke is going to have to get back into the pits, switch tires, and get back out quickly for another lap.
And I do want to point out, at this moment, Cookie is on the cutoff. He's just starting his next flying lap. He's got 4.5 minutes, but if he can't get a valid lap in, he could be in some serious trouble.
Yeah, and it's not good at all. And then we also got confirmation Scyther is not going to make it in time.
Oof.
Because apparently he says he's not. He said he's not going to be home until 4 o'clock. And I mean, right now it is in my time zone. And that's his time zone, so it's 9 for UK. And our time zone right now it is 3:40. So it'd be about almost 3:45 by the time Q3 starts. And yeah, he's not going to make it in time. So
yeah.
So unless George can find a quick replacement for the second Mercedes, it's just going to be Boss Cookie by himself.
And that puts Mercedes at a massive disadvantage in the Constructors' Championship. As you said, they need a good round here to stay in contention. And with only having one car in the mix, they either need a win or they're going to be eliminated.
You know, I'm thinking with Jack, who's P9 right now in the Williams, he's probably thinking in his head, well, maybe with Scyther not making it, maybe I should have gone into the Mercedes.
Yeah, I'm not so sure. Jack is a man who loves the Williams. He's a firm believer in Williams' heritage, and I believe he just likes outperforming the piss out of that car. So I think he's happy where he is, but obviously, like you said, it's a Mercedes.
Oh, he's got to be even more happy next season because Jack is going to Aston Martin next season. And speaking of with next season for F1 season 9, only one spot is open, and that is Alfa Romeo. So there's only one seat available in the F1 season 9 group. I'll give a rundown of everybody that's in there. We have Jacob and Scyther in the Ferrari. TB and Reese. TB is going to be leaving Ferrari. Originally was going to be going to Red Bull. Then not Red Bull. Was going to be originally going to Mercedes. Then was switched over to Aston Martin. Now he's in Red Bull, and he's going to be with Reese in there.
Two championship rivals becoming teammates could create an interesting dilemma.
Yeah, that's like strange bedfellows for that.
Anyways, you make it.
Cookie and Alex Fox will be in Mercedes. Ads and Bourbon in Alpha Tauri. Stenner is in Alfa Romeo, but a teammate is yet to be decided. Lewis Piper, Monza winner a couple weeks ago, and Red Fire are going to be in McLaren. Tadpole and Cryptic will be in the Alpine. WOR Lewis and Jack Miles will be in Aston Martin. Casper and Fanflo will be in Haas. And last but not least, the Chiller and Beatnik in Williams.
Trust in the plan. Williams looked past this year.
But yeah, especially in the F1 qualifying, sprint qualifying, both of them getting into SQ2. Unfortunately, Logan Sargent clocked the turn 15 wall on the right rear.
It was just showing the wall a bit of freedom. But anyways, the final runs of Q2 are beginning, and Luke is on the clock here. He has to set a valid lap, or it's game over for him. Jack, he's done. He's in the pits. Stenner's on a lap. P9 downer on a lap. Flaw has decided to stay in the pits. He should be safe. Blonde is a little less safe in P8 with that 33.6, which 2 other drivers have a 33.6, so he may not be as safe as he thinks. But the first driver to cross the line is going to be Luke, who's got 2 purple sectors at the moment. But like we saw in his last lap, he invalidated in that final corner. So,
oh my god!
It's not over yet.
Term is gonna be showing up to take the second Mercedes.
I absolutely love that, if I'm honest. Go Term.
That's gonna be freaking mental.
Let's see if the man who made challengers can actually prove he made challengers. But anyway, here comes Luke out of the final corner. Can he keep it valid this time? Yes, he can. And he does a 32.7, which will see
only
him
2
through.
milliseconds off of Boss Cookie's time. Jacksta's out.
Here comes
And
Tadpole.
Jack is
Can he get
eliminated
in?
too.
Tadpole's in. Here comes Stenner. Oh, and Red Fire. Here comes Red Fire. Red Fire.
He's in.
That barely
Knocks Blonde out.
Can Stenner knock Red out now? Here comes Stenner. Out of the final
That's
corner.
that.
Can he knock him out? Yes, he can.
Yes, he did. Q3 for Stenner.
Great performance in the Alfa Romeo by Stenner. Doing what the other Alpha couldn't do and set a valid lap.
I'll take a look at the team that's out. We have Jacksta, Jack, Ads, Blonde, and Red Fire. Which here's the funny thing, Beatnik. You won the bet. You got 4 of your 5.
I had 4 for 5.
Yeah, you got your 4 for 5. I got 3 out of 5. Being Jacksta, Ads, and Jack. So I mean, I didn't expect Blonde to be out, and Red Fire didn't expect Red Fire to be out. I was thinking Tadpole and Kieran would, but they're through. So, but anyway, so it's Flaw, Tadpole, Stenner, Bourbon, Kieran, Reese, Luke, Boss Cookie, Cryptic, and TB in the Q3. So, the usual players in through for Q3 with some surprises in there as well.
Except for a cracker here. They all have a shot here. You could make a case for any one of the top 4 to get pole position here. Cryptic's shown some pace, and you can't count out the 2 championship contenders. And well, Luke, you can't count Luke out.
I'm gonna go on to my prediction on who is going to be top 3. And I'm actually going to be even more bold, and I'm going to predict the top 3 in order. I'm going to say Cryptic will secure pole position. TB will get P2, but just barely. And the guy that he will beat for P3 is his championship rival of Reese. Now, I'm not putting Luke down. He's got the capability, but I think he's going to come up just short of the top 3 and will probably settle for 4th place.
Entirely possible, but I got a different view on this. I saw what Luke could do earlier. He invalidated his fastest lap, which was 0.2 quicker than anyone in Q2. So, just based off that, I'm going to go Luke pole. I'm going to go Cryptic P2, Reese P3, TB P4.
Very interesting. Now, if I had to go even further with the rest of this group, Boss Cookie is going to be P5. Flaw will take P6. Let's see. Tadpole will be 7th. Stenner will take 8th. Bourbon 9, and Kieran will be 10th.
For my order, I'm gonna go Cookie P5, Flaw P6, Kieran P7, Bourbon P8, Tadpole 9th, Stenner 10th.
Alright.
But anyways, predictions aside, Cryptic's gonna start us off here for Q3.
On the series end, I will go on the onboard as he's on his way for his lap. Getting down to 8th gear, getting close to 200 miles an hour into that long right-hander that tightens up for turn number 2 here. Then it gets kind of tight into 3. And he makes his way out of there, getting it up to speed. Up through the gears to turn number 4. Nearing 8th gear as he first heads to the first hairpin to turn 5. Now here he comes to the S's, which has caught out a couple people so far in qualifying. Just almost flat out into turn number 6 and into 7. Right on that throttle up into the double left. That is 8 and 9 to complete sector 2. Looking pretty good as he works his way up to the gears. Now into the 90-degree left-hander of turn number 10. Now into another long right-hander of 11. Just works his way up into the gears. Just flat out riding the exit. Now the very long back straightaway. These guys can get close to 205 miles an hour. Maybe even faster into DRS. As he rockets their way down to the hairpin. Crosses the speed trap at around 203. Into the hairpin of turn number 12. Turn number 12. Then into the final corner of 13. He keeps it within the track lines and across the line. And Cryptic will kick it off with a 32-0.
That's a fast lap right there. I think that's a good 3 or 4 tenths faster than anything I saw before.
Cookie had a 32.7, but his car got very evil on the exit of the final corner, which cost him a few tenths. And Luke 32.1 for his time.
Not bad at all. Next across the line is going to be Kieran. He's gonna beat Cookie. Wow, 32.7 by Kieran. Very solid lap. But like you said, Cookie made a big mistake on his lap out of that final corner. So there's obviously time to find, but Kieran, he's P3.
Kieran just snips ahead of Boss Cookie. I think if Cookie's car didn't get evil, he probably would have been at least a couple tenths below Luke. I'd say probably in the 32.3 or 32.4 is probably where Cookie would be if his car did not go evil on him out of the final corner. TV now comes across the line.
32.3.
Yeah, that would probably be the appropriate time that Boss Cookie would have had his car not gotten evil out of the final corner, is right around with TB's time. Tadpole's up next now.
Yeah, here he comes out. Final corner. Final corner keeps a valid DRS wide open. Across the line, it's going to be a 34.1, slowest laps thus far. I believe it's Reese. He's next. He's coming through the final corners now. Into the final corner he comes. Can he get close to matching his teammate? Here he comes. It's a 32.6. Only a couple hundredths ahead of Kieran. That's very interesting.
Very, very unusual for Reese's lap to be that slow. I was thinking he would probably be within very close proximity to TB's time, or basically sandwich him and Luke's time. But Reese, yeah, 32.6, sitting in 4th for right now. And Bourbon,
and he's running out of sync. Yeah, he's running a bit out of sync compared to the rest of these guys. So, yeah, he's going to be definitely the last one to set a valid lap time if he can keep it on the island in these final couple corners. Here it comes through the hairpin, neat and tidy, the AlphaTauri. It's a fast car in a straight line, but it sometimes likes to struggle in those corners. Through the final corner he comes, DRS open, and it's a 32.6. He beats Reese. Very impressive lap.
Wow, so Bourbon just ahead by 0.06 of a second over Reese. Bourbon, like I said, he's in AlphaTauri now. He's in AlphaTauri next season, so basically Bourbon has started his season 9 deal now, so that's what he's got theirs. And right now, Tadpole is the slowest of the group right now. Stenner is in 9th. Flaw is 8th. Boss Cookie is 7th. Yeah, I mean, some of these times are going to get even faster. With Cryptic with a 32-0, I would not be surprised if we do see a 31-9 or heck, even a 31-8. I would not be surprised if we see that in this race, in
We
this
could see
Q3 session.
we could see some big improvements. You can make a statement for a good chunk of these guys to make some big improvements. I don't think Flaw put in his best effort. I think he's got some time in it. Tadpole's definitely got some time in it. Uh, and I am firmly believing that Reese has a lot more in it than a 32-6. I wouldn't be surprised to
See,
see him in the 32-2s, 32-3s. That's where he should be. Maybe even 32-1. But if he wants to be in the fight for this championship, 32-6 is not going to do.
well, speaking of the current pole sitter, Cryptic, he is back out on the circuit for his basically his final run of this session. Now, Cryptic earlier did mention that in the time trial, his best lap was a 31.4. That was his fastest lap that he was able to do in the Ferrari car, and he told me that he has been practicing all week for this race. So this race is probably going to be basically one of Cryptic's dark horse tracks if he manages to keep it cool and keep it running. Cryptic, just looking, let me just take a look at the run. Yep, so Cryptic, he has not won a race yet this season. He's come close a few times, but he has yet to chase a win so far this season.
Would be a nice place for him to get that first win. Running out of races, round 17 out of, I think it's 22. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
You're
like
right.
you said at the start of the stream, we're on the home stretch of this season, and I'm sure he's gonna run out of opportunities to drive that Ferrari week in and week out. So he wants to get that win. It's now or never. And here he comes through the final corner to start. This might be his final lap here. I think I know what he's doing here. If he invalidates this lap, then he can just shut it off and refresh and go again. He will have time to do another lap if he invalidates this. So, but
We'll have to wait and see on what happens, but I believe Term did join just after Q1 had ended, but apparently Scyther has shown up. But I'm not sure if he is going to be in that car or Term is going to be taking it. Anyways, as you mentioned about with it being the home stretch, like I said, China is the 17th round of the championship, and once this race is over, the last 5 rounds we have Suzuka, Coda, Mexico, Interlagos, and the final race at Abu Dhabi. That is the 22. That's the 22 race calendar, which hasn't been done in RPL yet. We've usually had a 20 race calendar, except for 2 seasons where we had a 18 race and a 16 race calendar. But that was towards the beginning of RPL's longevity. Anyways, Cryptic.
Here comes Cryptic. He's coming through the final corner. He will not have enough time to do another lap time, at least on that ERS. He has a 31.8. Brilliant lap.
Oh, yeah.
Brilliant lap there. Here comes Reese to begin his final lap. Now that Cryptic has finished his, everyone knows what they need to do to get pole position. Luke, he needs 3/10 to get there. Reese, he needs 8/10 to get there. So, Reese has a long way to go, but I'm sure his target is just to beat TV.
Well, I wouldn't doubt that with Cryptic doing his cooldown lap with TV near, I wouldn't be surprised if Cryptic does help TV out by giving him DRS in that back straight. I would not be surprised to see that.
Both of these guys want pole though, so they could go to any one of them. Flaw, no, that's not Flaw. That is Kieran. He's going to be the first one to come across the line. He's about a 10th and a half up So let's see what he can do. And I think you are right. I think Cryptic is going to give him a bit of a tow. He backed out. Here comes Kieran P4. Great run by the
Wow.
Alpine driver.
Reese is currently a quarter of a second up, so he will claim that P4 back.
But look at the
TB is only
Ferrari.
a tenth up.
Look at the Ferrari. TB is going to get a massive tow here.
Cryptic moves over.
208.
TB
208.
almost 210 into the hairpin. That's
That
going to be
gave TB a lot
hugely
of time.
beneficial.
And here comes Reese. Can he beat TB's time for now? Yes, he can. But what can TB do? P2.
Ferrari front row for right now, but Luke is, after
Luke's
sector
yet to
2,
finish his
is
lap.
looking at a 32 flat. He is 0.135 up in sector 2. Let's see. Tadpole P9. Here comes Stenner. He replaces Tadpole for P9. Flaw's up next. Flaw is going to be 8.
But here
comes Luke.
This is it right here. P2, 31.9. Cryptic is on pole position for the Chinese Grand Prix.
And I believe Cookie just took 5th place as well.
And yeah, you're right. What a fascinating Q3 there. Ends with Cryptic on pole, Luke in P2, TB 3rd, Reese 4th, Cookie 5th. Best of the rest goes to Bourbon in P6. You got Kieran, Flaw, Stenner, and Tadpole. Fantastic Q3 session there.
Absolutely, and I think comparing your predictions to mine, by looks of it, I think we tied I think we tied with 4 apiece out of that one.
I will not lie. I was not expecting a Cryptic poll here.
I was kind of hoping.
I mean, you can hope as the Ferrari TP, but well, I will say I certainly wasn't expecting it. But we have, I believe, it's 28 long laps of this race.
Well, let's take a look at this. Let's see who is in there. Yep, Term is in the Mercedes.
Interesting. We'll see what the Merc boys have to say about it.
Apparently Jack and them were saying that he had to leave because because they wanted Scyther to take part, but unfortunately no dice. So
Term has elected not to leave.
is in the car.
So Term, P20 there on the back row alongside the Chiller, who never set a valid lap in Q1.
Well, let's take a look at our grid as everything is settling in. So, pretty much Term and the Chiller will be making up the back row. We'll be making up the back row here for tonight. Sam Steed and Owen will be occupying row 9. We have Blue Goggy and Jaxa making up row number 8. Row 7 is going to be Ads and Jack. Then we have Blonde and Red Fire making up row 6. Row 5 is going to be Tadpole and Stenner. We have an Alpine row 4 with Flaw and Kieran. Bourbon, Boss Cookie making up row 3. Reese and TB, the championship rivals in row 2. And then it is Luke and Cryptic in the front row. So TB, Boss Cookie, Stenner, Red Fire, those 4 drivers are opting to start on the medium compound tires. Everyone else is going to be on the hards. Actually, no,
This
TB
is going to be
switched.
interesting strategy.
And TB
Here we
switched
go,
to
then.
hards. So everyone but 3 drivers are on the hard compound tires.
And formation lap,
Yep.
Sean. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, we brought it back. It's been brought back for tonight because apparently it was fixed a long time ago. But the issue was that last time we turned it back on after it said it was fixed, we wound up having a mass lag out.
F-122 tends to do that. But as you did say, it is Cookie Stenner and Red Fire, the three who are electing to start on the mediums. Everyone else on hard tires for this Grand Prix. So watch out for Boss Cookie getting off the line a lot quicker than the guys around him.
Absolutely, and like I said, it's gonna be pretty interesting to see how these drivers will fare. Now, Scyther is probably not happy that Term has occupied his Mercedes. So, unfortunately, that means Term is going to have to... Term, a Red Bull lone, is going to be racing around in that Merc car. So, I mean, anything's possible. I think anything's possible. Possibly Mercedes could be out of the Constructors' Hunt. Or, I don't know, maybe Term will just pull off an insane race of his life.
And I'd believe it from Term. It's still Term. He made challengers. We already know what he is capable of. But from P20 on the grid...
He's really good in even the junk cars. He's managed to get points in Haas, Williams, stuff like that. And speaking about with Williams, I almost forgot with Owen. He scored P10 in Singapore in the Williams. The first time, and this is the funniest thing, it was with Owen and for Williams. Owen getting the point for Williams in Singapore. It was not only Owen's first points since Miami in round 5, but Williams also got their first point back in Miami as well, done by Today Tommy.
Interesting.
Everyone's piling into place.
And Miss Term will bring us up to the back of the grid here. One stop expected. Hard to medium for most of them, medium to hard for the rest. Red Fire, Gotti, DeChiller, and Term getting DQ'd there for missing their grid spot.
Parking wrong.
But here we go.
Let's see.
I'll leave this up to you.
See if anyone gets thrown out. No, nobody gets thrown out. We're good. 5 lights are on for China. And it's lights out, and away we go. Fantastic reaction by Luke. Cryptic, pour off the line.
They're 4 wide.
4 wide. Oh, there goes Reese. And there goes Cookie. And oh no, TB spun. The championship rivals clash in turn 1.
They both crashed. Stenner's P3, Red Fire's P4, the medium runners making big use of those medium compound tires.
My goodness. And Cryptic's in the back too. Ferrari completely fell apart on the start. I mean, it was 4 wide in the turn 1, and not only did Reese come out poor, but so did the Ferrari pair.
It's a nightmare start for Ferrari. The only glimpse of hope for them is the fact that Stenner in the Alfa Romeo
Turbine collide!
Crash! Oh!
Oh my goodness! Turns out, flaws out. We have a massive crash.
That was massive.
That is a VSC.
I don't know why that's a VSC. There's 3 cars in the middle of the racetrack.
Well, I was on board with Flaw, and looks like Flaw and Bourbon hooked wheels. Bourbon crashes into the inside wall.
Safety car's out. Safety car deployed.
Yeah. Flaw came back onto the circuit, and Term nowhere to go, crashes into him, and that is 3 cars out of the event.
Oh, that's a shame for Term.
Hell.
That's a shame for Term. He was up 10 spots on the first lap. And
yeah, and Flaw and Bourbon, they were battling for the 7th place spot when their collision occurred.
And Goggy's in. And as is Sam. Both Haas's in the bits. And TB as well.
Oh my goodness.
Nightmare start for the championship leader. He sees himself in 17th place with potential wing damage. They won't replace the wing, but medium tires, that's going to be 2 stops for him.
Absolutely, and yeah, Blue Gaki and Sam Steed also also in the pits as well, as everyone is filing back into place. But what a absolute chaotic first lap, to say the least. Cryptic could not get off the line. It was 4 wide in the turn number 1, which saw Reese and TB collide, and they're going spinning. Then TB wanted getting tagged as well, and he went for a spin. And Cryptic, something went wrong with him to see him go backwards as well.
And I guess now that we're cooling down, I would love to mention the fact that the 3 guys that started on mediums are P2, P3, and P5 right now. Fantastic starts from them, using everything out of those mediums, but it will not. It's going to be advantage everyone else for the rest of this race.
Absolutely.
Once they pit.
Absolutely. So we have the grid reset. So it's Luke as the leader, Boss Cookie second, Stenner is in third, Kieran 4, Redfire in 5th, Jax the 6th, Jack Miles in 7th, Blonde in 8th, Tadpole 9, and Az is sitting in P10. The rest of the field, it is the Chiller in 11th, Owen 12th, Reese in 13th, Cryptic 14th, TB in 15th, Blue Goggy in 16th, and Sam Steed in 17th. Well, if you're just joining us, we had a chaotic start. We have 4 wide in the turn 1, which resulted in 3 cars going for spins.
Cryptic's in.
And yeah, Cryptic's gone in too. And then we just had a big crash at a turn number 9 on that miniature straight that involved with Flaw and Bourbon hooking together, and Term, unfortunate victim, nowhere to go, just collides into there, and that is Term's race done. And that's not good for Mercedes, because that means their World Constructors Championship hopes in staying in contention are pretty much just about...
They're fading.
They're
fading.
It's almost just about gone.
With both Ferraris out of the points and 1 Red Bull out of the points, there is still a glimpse of hope for them. But position changes wise, biggest mover, Jackson, up 9 spots, and then it is Stenner, Redfire, and Jack Miles, who are all up 6 spots. DeChiller's up 8 spots as well, after starting 19th. The biggest losers out of that are the championship contenders, TV and Reese, down 11 and 9 spots respectively, and pole setter Cryptic down 16. Safety car in this lap. Wow. So, here we go. It's restart time. Luke is going to back up the field to the best of his abilities. Boss Cookie in P2. He's going to try and use those medium tires to his advantage to get into the lead of this Chinese Grand Prix. And if you look into the sky, there are a lot of clouds there. I don't know if there's a rain threat, but you can never rule it out.
We did have that happen last week with Singapore, where it started off dry for basically about the first half of the race, and then the inters came into play, and then the inters became too wet, and the wet tires came in within the last 5 laps of the Grand Prix. And Luke has decided to take off right by the hairpin.
Early start for Luke, but here we go then. He does catch Boss Cookie a little bit off guard here, and he will have a nice gap.
Yeah, so across the line, we are back on the way in the Chinese Grand Prix.
And oh, there's a crash in the back! That's sad.
Az a spun out of the final corner.
Yep. Spun out of, yeah, you're right, spun out of the final corner. Didn't see what else happened, but back up front, I believe there is a battle. That is an Aston and a Ferrari. TV getting past Owen, and crucially getting past Reese as well.
Yes, he did. Reese was stuck right behind Owen, and TV decided to go onto the high side and slingshot past both of them in turn 1. Owen now battling with Reese.
He's not making it easy on the Red Bull driver.
No, he is not. Owen is an Alpine Academy driver in Aston Martin as a lone, so
he's hanging in there.
He's fighting.
But that was a losing. You were always going to lose that battle, Owen. Reese threw into P12, but now DeChiller lets TB go, and he's got 1 second to Reese. Terms left, unfortunately. His poor race ended before the end of lap 1. Sadness for him. But sunshine and rainbows for the two Williams, P6 and P7.
Absolutely, that's something Williams would love to have for this run. As TB, if we're on board, sends a slingshotting dive into the hairpin and gets hit a tadpole, claims P9.
He knows
Reese
that
is stuck in 12th, so he's got a little ways of work to do in order to get himself back into the points.
TB knows that the longer he takes to pass these cars, the better chance Reese has at gaining points in that crucial championship battle. So TB's just got to play his cards right and get through the field faster than Reese can. And Reese has yet to make the pass on DeChiller for P11.
Absolutely. Now, the interesting thing is that TB already stopped because of the incident that happened in lap 1 in turn 1. Now, it will mean he'll have to stop again, so probably TB's hope is maybe wait for another safety car to come into play, and that will probably benefit him. If another safety car comes out before the end of this race, TB will be happy to switch off those medium tires that he's on and probably go on to another set of mediums, because he did start on hard compound tires.
And well, everyone else is basically in the same boat. Everyone that started on hards, well, they need this run to go green flag until their pit window, or else this strategy is all for nothing. In the instance of Cookie, or the rest of the guys who started on the medium tires, they wouldn't mind a safety car to get onto those hard tires to get to the end of the race. But meanwhile, Cryptic gets the move done on the Chiller, and now he's going to try
Reese got by him too.
Yep, Reese now has Tadpole to deal with.
TB is trying to get himself past Blonde to put himself into 8th place.
And Blonde's going to go by.
Goes on the inside of Jack. 3 wide.
They both go by Jack. That's a fantastic move there from TB. 2 cars in 1 go.
He did
impressive stuff there from the championship
leader.
leader.
2 laps ago with Owen and Reese, and he repeat on the outside, but repeats it on the inside against Blonde and Jack. Now has Jackson to deal with.
Oh, he hit him.
Bump.
He hit him.
Little tap, yeah.
But
Jackson still keeps it in control. He's okay. No harm. Looks like no harm, no foul between TB and Jackson. Now Jackson is a prominent runner, or was a prominent runner in Tier 2, fighting for a championship. Also against another Ferrari car, this time against Fanflo. We have a spin. That's Sam Steed around. TB on the inside against Jackson.
Great move there. And that should be easy, does it? And he gets the DRS. He should be able to pull away pretty easily from the Williams, which for some reason in this game has poor straight line speed. Meanwhile, back
gets ahead, and he is into 6th place. Cryptic, by the way, got past Tadpole into 10th place. So both Ferraris are back into the points. Meanwhile, Boss Cookie, by the way, is still keeping in touch with Luke.
That's medium tires versus hard tires right there, and I also want to direct you to the battle in P3. Stenner still holding on in the Alfa Romeo in the podium places. He's got Karen for company, and Red Fire isn't too far away. So if these two start battling, Red Fire could take advantage. But also TB now in P6. He's going to be chasing these guys down pretty quickly and adds for tires in the pits.
That's has gone into the pits. He is done. That's the 4th retirement of the event. Cryptic, by the way, went on the outside against Jack in a turn 3. He has successfully passed Jack and up into 9th place. Now in pursuit of Blonde, he get himself into 8th place.
We thought about it heading into the double left-hander there of 9 and 10, I believe it is. And he might actually think about it here. Oh, wow. Great defense there from Blonde, keeping Cryptic at bay. Slight block of the rear tires, I saw that. But and the switchback. Switchback of dreams for Cryptic. He's going to make the move here if he can get on the traction. But he's got no ERS.
We'll have DRS, so he's ahead of Blonde, but now has to chase Jacksta.
These guys have no battery.
Slightly, just to stay ahead.
They're 3 wide.
3 wide and a hairpin. Oh boy, that was a little
gonna get a
close.
warning for that, but he makes the move up into P7, and Jack's gonna lose 2 spots here.
Jackson loses 2 spots there. We did catch a little. There was a brief battle on the timing screen between Kieran and Stenner into the main straight. But Stenner stays ahead. However, those two are falling behind from the pair. Looks like Sam Steed has gone for a spin out of the final corner.
He's taking some unique lines there going out of the final quarter. But back to the Stenner Kieran battle. I don't think they're even bothered about the lead battle. They're in midfield cars. They're not worried about winning this Grand Prix. I think scoring the podium right here would be the best case scenario for these guys. But Kieran's got no ERS. He's blinking at the back, and Stenner 38 to Kieran's 5. So it is advantage Stenner, at least for now, but only 3/10 between them as they come through the little cell section. And we'll see if Kieran could use the Alpine straight line speed to get ahead of Stenner to get into the podium places. Here it comes. DRS wide open. He's got 0 overtake remaining, but he still manages to make the move. It's Kieran in the podium places for Alpine.
Absolutely, and Boss Cookie was about to eyeball Luke to go for the lead. Unfortunately, in that long right-hander, got a little wheel spin on the exit in the middle of that corner. Thankfully, kept it in control. Lost a couple of tenths.
Oh, there's a battle and a half.
Oh,
Oh, there's contact. There's contact between Tafel and Jack. They keep it on the track, but these guys are battling extremely hard for these last couple points. They know how important these points are for the midfield teams, and they are battling incredibly hard for it. Jacksta stays ahead in P10, only just holding Williams' final point.
And speaking of, with the last couple of points, Reese is back into the points as well. He is in 9th place, which is 2 points as compared to TV,
who's got 8. That's 8 points.
He's got 8, so that's going to be a 6-point advantage after this race right now. Oh, we got Stenner's gone spinning.
Stenner, no, he was 4th.
My goodness, spins out of turn 9.
That's a shame.
That shoves him down all the way down into 13th place.
Right out of the points.
That's going to put TB up into 4th. He got past Red Fire. And Cryptic's now eyeballing him.
Cryptic's got no ERS. None of these guys really have much ERS. Owen's got 70%, but I don't think he's exactly racing for much at this particular moment. Here comes Tadpole. He's gonna try to go around the outside of Jacksta. Meanwhile, DeChiller goes down the inside of Jack Miles. Tadpole's move. He's got the inside into the final corner. He's successful, and DeChiller is also successful on Jack Miles. But these guys are still going to be side by side. It's Jacksta with the DRS. He now goes to the outside of the McLaren driver. Can he hold it? He's still hanging in there. But I think Tadpole's going to use the superior grip of the McLaren to stay ahead. And that is P9 then for Tadpole.
Quite a good scrap the Williams pair was doing. One Williams against a McLaren, another against an Alfa Romeo. Even though they came out on the losing end, they both fought tooth and nail to fight for those positions, to keep those positions. And now that means Jacksta is now going to be vulnerable to DeChiller in the final points position of 10th place.
It's only 3/10 between those two as well. Meanwhile, the battle for P7, it's probably not going to be much of a battle. Blonde's going to give Reese DRS here.
Blonde is probably going to move over and let Reese through, and he'll keep
Most
going. We
likely.
will have another battle, though, because TV is eyeballing Kieran for P3.
That you are right, and TB has 50% to Kieran's 5, so I don't think this is going to be much of a battle. Meanwhile, battle for the lead, Boss Cookie has been dropped by Luke.
Yeah, a few laps ago, Boss Cookie was within striking
And here comes TB.
distance.
TB, well, not really much of a battle there. TB goes through, and he claims P3 back. So, after being 17th at the end of the first lap, he is back into 3rd place by lap 11. Impressive stuff there from our championship leader.
Absolutely, and like I said, TB still has to stop again. He's gonna have to stop again at some point later on.
The rest of the field does, though, so this P3 is legit.
Now that is true, but let's see, because I mean, a lot of the guys that had to stop. We have Luke. He's on the hard compound tire, so he'll have to pit for mediums. Boss Cookie is gonna have to pit slightly earlier because he's on the mediums. We'll have to go to the hard compound tire. TB, he was on the hards. He's on the mediums. He could pit on the mediums again. Because he still uses 2 tire compounds.
Yeah.
Same thing applies for Cryptic as well.
I believe
Yep,
Cryptic. Yeah. Cryptic, he's going to try and make the move here. But Kieran's got DRS as well, so that should help him defend from Ferrari.
Yeah, he was just barely within the DRS bubble against TB.
I don't think he's going to get DRS
it
this time.
Nope.
And Cryptic, all he needs to see is that DRS flap not opening, and that sees all the opportunity he needs. He's going to go to the inside. Kieran does defend as Red Fire comes into the pits, but it's P4 then for Cryptic. But I think they made contact there. But Cryptic will see P4-3. As I said, Red Fire is our first pitter. He is onto the hard tires because he started on mediums.
Absolutely. So with Red Fire in, that could mean that possibly Boss Cookie, we may be seeing him within the next lap or so, or maybe a little bit longer. We don't know. But Boss Cookie, he is on the medium, so we could expect him pretty shortly. Now TB and Cryptic, they're both on mediums as well, so they'll be expecting to pit pretty shortly. Like, who knows when that will be. But I know they'll be going a little bit longer because of that lap 1 incident that they had earlier in this race.
They'll also need to extend the life of those tires so that they have better tire wear at the end of this race on those medium compound tires. Don't know when we'll see those hard guys come in, but I mean, I don't know, maybe around lap 15, 16, 17, I'd say in that range. 15 through 18, I think is when we're going to start seeing the first guys pit. As here comes Luke. Luke's obviously staying out. He has no plan. In terms of on-track battles, we have the Chiller making the move on Jack. Here he comes, down the outside. And I think he's got him cleared. Yes, he does. P9 for the Chiller, and Kieran is the first member of the penalty club.
Absolutely, yeah. Kieran and seeing track limits too much. That was on the exit of the final corner, and Stenner is gone into the pits. He's another one of the medium
That's 2 of
tire
3
guys.
mediums. The last one is Cookie.
Yep.
He's been losing time to Luke, so.
Yeah, so Boss Cookie, I would not be surprised, probably at the end of this lap or next lap, we will see him come in for the hard compound tires.
So, I do want to point out, I believe Reese is probably a good 8 to 9 seconds behind his championship rival right now. Does not look good for him at this particular moment. It took him a lot longer to get through the traffic than it did for TB to get through it. So, though Reese is in clear air now, he still has 7.5 seconds to the next car, that being Kieran. who's been losing ground to the top 4. And we should expect Cookie to be coming into the pits at the end of this lap.
Yeah, so looking at the gap, Reese, as you mentioned, 7.5 seconds behind Kieran. Compared to TB, Reese is just under 10 seconds behind TB.
And in comes Cookie.
Yep, Cookie is in. As predicted. TB, looks like Cryptic has decided to switch with his teammate. As Cryptic now inherits the P2 position. TB is in P3.
I was going to point that out. I saw earlier the two Ferraris, they were getting pretty close to each other, but I got sidetracked by Cookie coming into the pit, and they're still going at it. They're wheel to wheel here. Don't wreck, boys.
I don't think TB would like a repeat of the times that happened earlier when he had Jacob as a teammate, and those two wound up having collisions, resulting in a major one that happened in Portimao that resulted in them falling out for almost a good month and a half.
Yeah, I mean, rule number 1, don't touch your teammate. It's that simple. Just don't do it. Meanwhile, I would like to direct our attention to the battle for 9th, because it's the two Williams leading a bit of a DRS train with Cookie, who just pitted, and Goggy's Haas. Then 9.5 seconds back is Red Fire's McLaren.
Center right now at the back foot, as he was one of the medium tire guys that's pitted. Boss Cookie was the final one. Red Fire was the first of the medium tires to pit. He's sitting in 13th. There goes Boss Cookie against Jack, and he is up in the 10th. Jack will settle for 11th right now.
Kieran's in. First of the hard runners in.
Very interesting pull there. So Kieran in the pits to kick things off.
I did say 15 to 18. Start expecting the first guys to come in. And that'll be it. And Goggy comes in as well. He was P12 in the Haas.
Well, Bugagi is probably going to be in P15 when this is said and done. Kiernan will come out in the 11th place spot.
And Cookie gets past both Williams off screen. Didn't see that.
Yep, so Boss Cookie back into the points in 8th place. And both Williams are back into the points with Jaxa sitting in P9 and Jack in P10. And that was basically before Boss Cookie decided to go get past them, and before Kieran decided to make his stop.
And besides that, there's really not any battles. There's the two Ferraris in a DRS train at the moment. You have the Chiller leading Cookie. That should be an easy move for Cookie once he gets into the DRS zone. Then, like I said, you got the two Williams running with each other. Besides that, there's really no battles at this particular moment.
Yeah, not at this particular time. Luke is 8.2 seconds ahead of Cryptic. The gap between Cryptic and Luke has been pretty stagnant pretty much this entire lap. He was gaining in some areas. TV's decided to come in to switch off the mediums and onto a new set of mediums. And the Chiller loses 7th place to Boss Cookie.
This could be some undercut tactics here from TB, because I assume he will be getting this undercut on his teammate. Interesting strategies here. But here comes Cookie. He should be easily past TB, and he is. And TB's actually going to come out behind the Williams.
Will come out behind the Williams, yes, but he is clear of Kiernan, so he ain't got much. He didn't lose much. He's still in the points, and he's just got not much to pass in order to get himself back into higher ground of positioning. So he's got, bear in mind, like I said, a lot of these guys ahead of him have yet to stop in this race.
I'm going to give a little warning. Here's a little warnings update here. Haven't looked at those yet. Luke's got one warning. Cryptic's got one warning. Reese has one warning. Blonde has 2. Tadpole has 0. Cookie 1. The Chiller 1. Jackster 1. Jax 0. TB 2 warnings. Kieran with a penalty. And I think that is going to be it. And Stenner with one warning, Goggy with one warning.
Well, GB just came in like a rocket and cleared Jack in the 9th place. And now...
And he just cleared Jack Studd as well.
Jack was just going like, well, was just about ready to go into that that sharp left-hander, and TB just flew in out of nowhere, just going like, surprise, I'm here.
He made absolutely, I mean, he even had to make sure that he got past those Williams as quick as he could, or else he would have been potentially under threat from Kieran as well. So that was a bit of a crucial move there as Blonde comes into the pits in the one remaining AlphaTauri.
Tadpole has gone in 2. He just lost the basically the 5th place position to Boss Cookie. So more of the hard tire guys are coming in. Now the only ones for the hard tires that have yet to come in, we have the Williams pair of Jackson and Jack. Owen has yet to stop. The Chiller is yet to stop. Reese is yet to stop, and Luke has yet to stop. Right now, TB is eyeballing the Chiller, so probably just like before, the Chiller will probably move out
Kieran
of the
on
way.
Jack stuff. Kieran on Jack stuff. Here we go. Kieran down the inside. And clean, nice move there from the Alpine driver. Sees him through into P7.
Absolutely, and just like the last time, yep, the Chiller moves over, lets TB through. Now, as you mentioned about TV having 2 warnings, I would not be surprised if one of the warnings that he got was a collision warning with somebody because of that lap 1 incident. I wouldn't be surprised if that was one of his 2 warnings.
I'll have a look for you. Yep, collision with Cryptic.
And speaking of Cryptic, he's in.
And collision with Reese.
Okay, so that's his 2 warnings. Well, Cryptic is in, going onto the new set of medium tires, and he is going to be on his way back out. So Reese will inherit P2
so
for right now. Boss Cookie will get ahead.
And TV sets the fastest lap. That's a crucial point.
Lap,
that's a very
and
crucial
gets ahead.
point.
So TV gets ahead, and Cryptic stays ahead of Kieran.
I expected that, but there will be a little bit of tire warm-up through this first sector, so Cryptic will suffer. We'll see if Kieran decides to do any funny games here in the first sector. Don't think he will. He's got a blinking ERS light, so 2% ERS. Wow. Meanwhile, up front, Luke, he's got, I think he's got the gap to pit and come back out without even having to worry. So. But Cookie will get a slight undercut.
He's 20 seconds ahead of Reese. I believe
it's 25.
Yeah, roughly. So he'll get out just ahead of Boss Cookie, but he's got a comfortable gap against TB. He's got at least a 3-second gap.
Yeah, easy.
Now,
easy for
Reese,
TB.
now,
TB set another purple sector, by the way.
Yeah, Reese though, unfortunately, he is going to be He's going to be quite caught out because when he pits. By looks of it, I think if he winds up pitting, he's going to come out probably right between Blonde and Stenner. Because TV is only 8 seconds behind Reese.
And in comes Reese now. He's the first of the Red Bulls to come in, and yeah, I think it's going to be in between Red Fire, Owen, and Stenner. He's going to come out right around there. We'll see what he does, but remember, he will be on these medium tires as TV, another fastest lap. Clean, quick stop there.
TB really putting his exclamation point known as Jacksta has come in now. And looks like Reese is going to come out behind Red Fire.
Yep, Red Fire. Yep, I kind of expected that. So he'll come out in P7. He'll have to get past Red Fire as quick as he can. And I really don't see... Maybe he could get past Kieran, but I do not see him getting anywhere near the Ferraris unless we get a safety car here towards the end.
Oh, no!
Looks like 13.2.
Meanwhile,
looks of it, TB is TB to Reese. The gap is about 16. Yeah, 16 seconds separate TB and Reese, and with only 10 laps to go, Anything is possible. And Luke has come in. So Luke will comfortably have the lead because he is a pit stop clear of Cookie. I think when he comes out, he will be he'll be ahead of Boss Cookie.
He'll be comfortably in the lead. He's going to be.
Oh yeah, he'll be ahead.
Here.
He'll be ahead, but we'll see how close it'll be, because he's just coming into the exit now.
Yep, he's got plenty of gap there. TB, third fastest lap in a row. Nope, now it's Cryptic. Cryptic now with the fastest lap. He's gaining. Some fastest lap mind games here between Ferrari as they both gain on Boss Cookie. Mercedes constructor hopes, they are fading away, as are Cookie's hard tires.
Absolutely, and Cookie right now, if he winds up pitting, he'll be behind Reese when he comes out, maybe behind Blonde.
Yeah, I don't expect Cookie to be making any pit stops. He'll obviously take those tires to the end. He started on the mediums, but I don't see him getting a podium with this current pace.
Yeah, I forgot. Boss Cookie was mediums and he pitted. Yeah, I forgot. So yeah, he'll be vulnerable. I don't think Reese is gonna be. Yeah, but I think Boss Cookie. Yeah, I forgot. Boss Cookie stopped already. I forgot. My bad. Anyways, but yeah, Boss Cookie's gonna lose P2 and P3 to TB and Cryptic. I think Kieran might get him for 4th, but I don't know. I don't think Redfire or Reese are going to get close to catch him. Yeah, Boss Cookie moves out of the way for TB. He's like, this is not my fight. I'm not risking it.
And in terms of Kieran, even if he could catch Cookie, he's got a 3-second penalty, so don't see that happening. But credit where credit's due. Kieran has had a fantastic race. P5 in that Alpine. Great job. He's been best for the rest all day. Yeah. Yep.
And Reese has got past Ref Fire, and with only 7 to go, Reese has 11 seconds to catch Kieran.
Realistically, 8 because of the 3-second penalty. So he's got to pretty much pull about 1.2 seconds a lap if he wants a chance to be at least within 3 seconds by the end of this Grand Prix. That's going to be his
making
goal.
a move on the inside against Boss Cookie.
Here we go then, but Cookie stays ahead there. That's not good for Cryptic.
The exit was really tight out of turn number 4 for Cryptic, but Cryptic getting into Boss Cookie's head to basically force Boss Cookie to not go with it, to not be in the DRS range against TB, and he's successfully done that. Boss Cookie 1.5 seconds in the detection zone. Meanwhile, Luke is pouring ahead right now.
Jack just pulled the dive bomb of dreams on Owen. I wish you saw that. Here we go. Here we go then. It's Cookie and TB once again. And another Cryptic, sorry. Switchback of dreams then for Cryptic. That should see him through as Luke. Oh my god, that's a fast lap from Luke. Blitzing the timesheets is Luke. This is not qualifying, good sir.
Looking at that time, 33.7. Cryptic's was a 34.6, so Luke basically 0.9 of a second clear of Cryptic's fastest lap.
Luke's been in a league of his own, but he's also had no crashes. He pulled the Seb Vettel strat, the Prime Seb strat, got a fantastic start, and drove away from everyone. Not surprising to literally anyone. Meanwhile, TB's got 1 second to his teammate, who's got 0.8 to Cookie, and Reese is only down to 10.1 seconds. Looks like, unless he gets the help of a safety car, P6 is where he's going to be finishing today.
Yeah, by looks of it, between the prior lap, Reese has only gained just a hair over a second on Kieran on that last lap. These two are on the same tires. Now, Kieran is actually doing quicker on his current lap right now, while Reese, because in Sector 2,
there's Kieran, a crash! Jackson and Owen have both gone round. Big accident.
Oh my
there.
lord.
They both have an accident. I saw that. I'm gonna clip it. Big accident there. Jackson with a 10-second penalty. And his brilliant day in the Williams has been completely undone with him and Owen. They tried to go around the outside in the S's, and it just wasn't on, and around goes Jackson again. Oh,
Yes,
what
just-
a shame.
Those tires are just fried because of his prior spin, so he's got no grip at all. Unfortunately, that is going to be the end of Jax's race, as the other Jack Miles, by the way, just did a switchback of a lifetime, as stealing your quote, on Blue Gagi, gets
Switchback of
himself in
dreams.
the 12th place.
Switchback of dreams.
Yeah.
Don't worry, you'll get used to it.
Anyways.
The chiller
Anyways,
is now under
Reese,
pressure, actually.
Reese, by the way, on this lap, he only gained
It's about a
9/10 of a second
Yeah,
on Kieran.
That's not enough. Not enough. He's gonna need way more than that, but I think at this rate, he needs a safety car if he wants any realistic chance.
Yeah, it's definitely not good there, but yeah, so Owen is in the pits. He's off on the soft tires. Kieran just having some struggling issues. But
He's gonna try and be the second time an Aston driver has scored fastest lap in a race in F1 this season. First time by yours truly.
Luke, currently 8.2 seconds clear Cryptic, and that lead is starting to grow. TV is actually gaining.
Jax has gone around.
Yep, Jax has gone around. There's Owen right there.
I'm watching for retaliation here. Oh boy.
I wouldn't be surprised if TV switches with Cryptic. I would say if I was able to get the orders, to these two, I would say to Cryptic, let TB by, let TB through.
I mean, that would be for the championship, but in the quote of Sebastian Vettel, Cryptic's looking for satisfaction of finishing in P2 here. Of course, 18 points to Reese's 8. That's a big 10-point swing, which I believe would create a 28-point lead at the top. So, and another crash that is Jexta again. And now he's been lapped.
Yeah.
All the meanwhile, his teammate Jack Miles has caught the chiller in the battle for P11 there. Meanwhile, Tadpole's had a pretty quiet Grand Prix himself, holding on to the final point, battling Stenner, as the two Ferraris swap places.
Yep, gave them the team order to Cryptic. I said if you can't catch Luke, let TB by.
TB lost the back end, big time.
Jackson's gone for a spin again.
Yep, Jackson's spun, but Cryptic just staying ahead again. TB out of the hairpin, had absolutely no grip whatsoever. Meanwhile,
Tadpole gets past Stenner for 9th.
Didn't catch that one, and guess who spun again?
Jacksta again.
Getting a bit sick of this. It was funny at first, and now it's not funny.
Only 5 laps to go.
I think it's actually 4 now.
Anything is possible now.
Yeah, about 4 laps to go, but with 3 to go is when you get the safety car cutoff. So, if there's going to be a safety car, it is now or never for these guys. And I'm sure Luke is speed running, getting to the start-finish line to make sure a safety car doesn't come out.
So currently, looks like Stenner might think about trying to get past, what was it, Tadpole to try to reclaim that 9th place position. I'll have to wait and see on that. Wait and see on that one.
Meanwhile, Luke got 3 more laps, and there is your safety car cutoff as Blue Goggy goes around, as does Jacksta.
Yes, he did. I just caught that.
Meanwhile, besides on-track battles, you have the 2 Ferraris, and then you have Stenner and Tadpole, and Jack Miles has had a malfunction of himself. He's lost about 3 seconds to the chiller. So that's going to be his bid for P11 basically over. The battle for the final point just goes to Tadpole and Stenner, or at least the last 2 points. Reese
Juan's caught Red Fire, by the way.
Oh yeah, Red Fire. He's had a pretty decent. He's had a quiet race, but he's been in contention the whole time. But Blonde on the better, faster tires could see himself into P7 here. And Reese, 6.8 seconds. He is probably not gonna get to that 3 seconds that he needs. He's got no ERS.
Like TB is out of the DRS range against his teammate. It looks like Jacksta has now gone 2 laps down now.
Jacksta is just doing my tier 2 Williams strategy. but we're already at the safety car cutoff, so nothing to worry. And Luke just has 2 more courses around this Carmen Tilka track that no one likes.
Now Luke is the most winningest driver in F1. He has 40 wins to his credit. He's looking at number 41. When he wins this one, this will be his 3rd race win of the season. And that's going to give him some crucial points up against Seidler, who is not participating tonight. But it is not going to, at the moment, it is not going to change the fight, the P3 slot, as Seidler will stay ahead, but only by 8 points heading into Suzuka. And right now, Luke with his 26, he is going to gain, he's going to go to 82 points behind TB for the fight for the World Drivers' Championship title.
I don't expect
TB, by
Luke
the way,
to be winning it.
Yeah, TB, by the way, is going to gain 7 points on Reese, but that is if Cryptic will do the honor of letting TB by for
Don't think that's
second
happening.
place.
Don't think that's happening. He's increased the gap over the last lap.
Yeah, he has, but he's not caught Luke.
Luke
is
that's not
entering his final lap.
Yep, Luke begins the final course of this racetrack. Meanwhile, 6/10 between Red Fire and Blonde. Can Blonde use the higher top speed of the AlphaTauri to get himself into 7th place? Some crucial points for AlphaTauri.
Absolutely, AlphaTauri, even though they're out of the Constructors' Championship hunt, they are actually ahead of McLaren going into this race, and Red Fire and
Here we
Blonde
go,
are actually
then.
fighting
These
it.
guys bumping and barging here. McLaren, of course, they're scoring more points than AlphaTauri right now, with 2 cars in the points compared to Blonde just being 1. This is crucial in their bid for, I think it's P5?
Yes, it is. Because they're separated by 9 points at the moment, and right now it is a 4-point advantage McLaren. Now, if Blonde can get past Red Fire, this will basically offset them because they'll both have 6 points.
Yeah,
that's pending any post-race penalties later on.
Blonde's losing his time though. It's 9/10, and now he's lost DRS. And he's just hanging in there. But let's go back to Luke. This man has, well, we haven't seen much of him today. He's played it calm. He's played it collected. Owen loses the will to live.
I just saw that. That was funny.
Owen loses the will to live. Luke comes out of the final corner. And in prime Vettel style, he absolutely obliterates the competition in China. Luke wins the Chinese Grand Prix by a country mile. Cryptic will come
Here
home to
comes
finish in
Cryptic.
second, and
Cryptic
he is
moves
gonna let
over,
TB through.
lets his teammate through. TB second, Cryptic in third.
Boss Cookie will take fourth place. Kieran, a fantastic fifth for the Alpine driver. Great job, him. And Reese, one more lap is all he needed to beat Kieran. And here comes Redfire and Blonde. These two then, they're still going wheel to wheel. Does Blonde have
my
enough?
God.
No, he doesn't. Redfire is gonna hold on by the skin of his teeth to finish in 7th place. Blonde, a tadpole, will hold on to 9th, and Stenner, after a depressing spin, will still pick up a point.
Very good showing there, and what a good show of sportsmanship by Cryptic to move over at the final corner, let his teammate through to take second place. That is now going to be a 10-point advantage between TB and Reese heading into the next race of Suzuka.
I'm seeing two
Stenner,
cars
by the way,
inside of
good
each
move.
other.
Great work for him to get into get a point for Alfa
Look at
Romeo.
Owen. Look at Owen's driver cam.
I just noticed that, and Blonde's in there too.
Yeah, I'm screenshotting that because funny.
Yeah, Blue Gaki just crashed too. He was the last guy to finish.
Fantastic race there. Titan, driver of the day, who you got?
Well, I'm gonna be honest, and to some, you may call it biased, but I don't care. It's gonna be the Ferrari pair of TB and Cryptic. At the end of lap 1, they're at the back of the field after being spun. Then they clawed back with a 2-stop strategy to collect a 2 and 3, which is good for them. Good for Ferrari. A very great recovery drive. That's why I think they are driver of the day.
I could make a statement for 3 different selections. I will agree with you on the 2 Ferraris. They both had fabulous races. TB was into the podium places by lap 11 after having his crash. He was 17th by lap 1. 10 laps later, P3. Very impressive. You can make a statement for Luke as well. Just dominant. I mean, you can't argue pure dominance. And I'm going to give some kudos to Kieran. P5 in that Alpine. Ran a very quiet race, and he beat Reese Dainty. So, overall, great day for him.
Absolutely.
If that's it could go to any 3 of those for me. But my final thoughts: great race, fantastic stuff, great recoveries from the 2 Ferraris. Luke crushed it as usual, and some great midfield scraps throughout the race.
I completely agree with you. That was pretty phenomenal. It was quite chaotic at the start. We saw both Ferraris and Reese fall to the back because of collisions there, and then they all recovered to finish in the points. TB bet on the top with second, Cryptic with third. Reese unfortunately had to settle for 6th, but he still had a recovery in him. I'd say a heartbreaker. For heartbreaker, I would say the heartbreaker of the race has to go to Term. He started P20, had high hopes to maybe get some good points, to maybe give Mercedes some hope to stay in the Constructors' Championship hunt, but unfortunately, he was just caught up in that crash between Flaw and Bourbon, which that incident has been noted by the stewards and is going to be investigated. I will send them a POV of that incident. I did catch that on stream. I think you probably caught it as well, so we have 2 different POVs as well, maybe.
I caught the POV of lap 1, and I also caught the POV of Jacksta and Owen, their crash too.
Yeah, I didn't catch that one, but
yeah, I was the only one watching last place. I was the only one watching. I had a feeling that they were gonna crash. I'm like, I should probably watch this. So, if you wouldn't mind actually giving me access to the stewards chat, I can send that in.
Yeah, I could do that if needed.
Right.
Anyways, let's move on into next week's events here. So, because the stream is just about being wrapped up. So Tier 2, their next race, they're going to be racing around in Suzuka. F2 will be racing around Spa-Francorchamps for round 7 of the championship, as those two tiers will be starting their second half of the season. And crazily, with Japan being Tier 2's next race, that's also Tier 1's next race. They'll be racing around in Suzuka for round 18 of the championship. But yeah, Nick, it was great having you be on deck with me tonight. It was great having you around.
Great to be here. Unfortunately, I must return to the racetrack next week. Excited to finish the season with this academy, and hopefully just score a couple points on our way to the end of this dreadful game.
Absolutely. So from RPL Streams, this is Ty and Ironwolf and Beatnik saying good night and have a great one.